What a busy day in Pennsylvania. By the way, happy Black Friday. Let me just say this, and I mean it, Black Fridays matter. Especially in Pennsylvania, we have such crazy stuff going on right now. We have some incredible news to share with you. Let me move my microphone down a little bit. There we go. There we go. All right. State lawmakers have introduced a resolution disputing the 2020 general election. Now, this is a group of sponsors. This is going to be on my Twitter. My Facebook has been banned for another 3 days. I can't remember if I was asking questions about COVID or Hunter Biden, but something triggered Snowflake behind the scenes. Oh my God, Truth! Get it the hell off of there! Get it off! We got to get Trump out! So, but I'm on Parler, and I've jumped over to LinkedIn, and I'm bringing up some of these topics on LinkedIn. I could tell because I'm triggering people that don't want to make waves, you see. And that's okay. That's okay. We're being censored. We're being banned by social media, by the news media. The news media is not covering any of this. We have a group of Pennsylvania lawmakers today that introduced a resolution disputing the 2020 general election statewide contest results. The members of the General Assembly issued the following statement. We believe this moment is pivotal and important enough that the General Assembly needs to take extraordinary measures to answer these extraordinary questions. We also believe our representative oversight duty as Pennsylvania's legislative branch of government demands us to reassume our constitutional authority and take immediate action. Why? Well, depending on who you follow in the news or what you listen to or watch, big thing went on Wednesday afternoon, big Senate hearing, and hats off to everybody, including Doug Mastriano, the state senator. By the way, he just was banned off Twitter a few hours ago. But there was so much evidence just in that hearing, and it was totally ignored by most of the news media. I did see CBS fed some of it live on like some fringe channel they had that you probably never heard of. Let me tell you what Senator Mastriano of Pennsylvania had up on his Twitter, and then it was banned, okay? Pennsylvania reports having mailed out 1,800,000 ballots, of which 1.4 million were returned, yet total mail-in votes number 2.589 million. Where did the extra 2.5 plus million come from? That's well over 1 million votes, right? So the extra 2.5 minus 1.4, it's well over 1 million votes. Where did it come from? Well, that's a question you're not allowed to ask. You're not allowed to ask a whole bunch of things. You're not allowed to ask about signatures that didn't match up, burned, shredded ballots in trash cans. You're not allowed to ask about Dominion. Who owns it? What politicians are involved in Dominion computers? Some of these politicians that have come out recently, some are former politicians like Governor Tom Ridge. What I'd like to know is, what is his involvement in voting computers or voting systems? That's a great question. No one in the media has the balls to ask it. It's the same with Dominion. No one in the media has the courage, to pursue the history of Dominion, for example, in Georgia. Now, Sidney Powell has, and if you read that lawsuit, it's fascinating. You will not see or hear a thing about that lawsuit in Georgia from the mainstream news media. Because if you heard what's in that lawsuit, if you heard what was in the hearing on Wednesday afternoon, just in Pennsylvania, you, like 74 million plus, and I'm part of that group that voted for President Trump, and maybe even some Democrats are starting to wonder now, was this a legitimate election? I mean, was it stolen? I happen to think it was stolen. We have 6 states that show enough evidence that there should be audits, there should be recounts, there should not be any state certifications until you are sure you have a fair and accurate election. So you cannot do that. You cannot certify those votes unless you know they were gathered fairly, legally, and accurately. We don't have that in about 7 states right now. Not just Wisconsin and Nevada and Arizona and Georgia and Pennsylvania and a couple other states. There are more. The thing that these states have in common is the Dominion computer system, owned by Smartmatic. If you research Smartmatic and Dominion, you'll find some very popular politicians involved with it. It's just the corruption, the stink, the stench of the swamp is so thick in these swing states, in cities like Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, Allentown, in places like Baltimore, Maryland. It's so over the top. And the fact that we're being censored and we're being banned, we can't ask these questions. Journalists are reprimanded if they discuss it. This is why when you talk to some of your friends and you're following common sense sources and news, maybe you're not just totally plugged into CNN and The View or MSNBC. If you've caught wind of the extent of this voter fraud, you know the election has been stolen. At least 6 states have been stolen to move it toward Biden. Understand, there are networks devoted to convincing people that Joe Biden is the president-elect, which he can't be the president-elect because there's no such thing as a president-elect because he has not been elected. He is a civilian who's still running for president against President Donald J. Trump. The votes have not been counted. The states have not been certified. And there's fraud, irregularities. And as Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani have just pointed out beautifully, that also has been ignored by the media. There's a lot of illegality going on. And I think some people, I hope some of these people are going to go to jail. Because this is a major issue, and people are not taking it seriously. So hopefully the GOP legislature will be able to reclaim the power to appoint electors, which, as you know, they go to Washington and they certify on the 14th of December, which, by the way, is not a hard date anymore because there's too much foul play, whether the judge agrees with it or not. You're going to hear, this is going to be the big narrative, the judge threw out the lawsuit in Pennsylvania. Oh, now what? Well, like the attorney Jenna Ellis said, and she's another brilliant member of the team, onto the Supreme Court. But understand, there are a lot of fronts in this battle. There's a lot of swamp. The swamp extends far beyond Washington, D.C. We have to stay positive. We have to stay engaged. We have to stay energized and understand the more this information comes out, and it'll be pouring out over the next couple weeks once these lawsuits are put into court. Georgia, the lawsuit is now public. I had it on my Facebook page, but I'm not on Facebook for a few days, so it's kind of tough. Every time you try to put truth out there, whether it's about all the fake COVID tests or the death counts, or it seems like anything to do with counting seems to be fake from the media. Have you noticed that? They get the number of COVID cases wrong, the number of COVID deaths wrong, the number of votes wrong. Maybe they all were doing Common Core math. I don't know. But we'll talk about reforming the public school system another day. Anyway, enjoy Black Friday. Know that Black Fridays matter. And don't forget, there's another case in Wisconsin. It's an emergency lawsuit to stop 160,000 votes. They want to stop the certification there. So remember, the chances are, every time you see something negative on the news, there are several positive things that took place on the Trump winning side. So have a meaningful Thanksgiving with your family. I'll see you on the radio, and I'll see you on social media, on the platforms I haven't been banned in.